So season 4 of The Real Deal is here today, but take a look at me. I'm in full HD quality now. I've just got a new camera thanks to the people in the Patreon for their donations. You've paid for this, which is fantastic. I'm really, really happy. Thank you very much for everything with that. Thank you for donating, people who donate. You've bought me this webcam, which is absolutely fantastic. There might be a little bit of a latency issue between, I think it's lagging a little bit, so my lips might move at a slightly different time to what I'm talking about. I'll try to fix it. It's slightly better than what it was, but I need to do a few more things. But I just wanted to get into recording and basically just make a video because I've not done it for weeks and weeks now. What you've seen recently is all pre-recorded stuff from before I went on holiday, and that was ages ago now. So I've not made a video for a while, and I'm dead excited, so let's get into it. Hello and welcome back to The Real Deal. Today we have got the brand new season. The first game of the season is against Real Zaragoza. We're going to play them first, but of course we have to take you through the new signings. We've had a really, really busy summer actually, where we've spent basically all our money. As you can see here actually, there's a lot of players that I wanted out on loan, but I'm saying no to them. I want them to keep them in the B team just for at least a few years maybe, or a season or so. And in Julio Diaz's case, he's now in the first team. We've had to really weather a storm this summer for Berke Urza. Turns out his release fee clause only like 6.5 million, and a lot of Premier League clubs were knocking on the door for him, not quite offering that 6 million, which is very good because we had to really weather a storm with him. Hopefully, like between now and January, he's going to want to sign a new contract with us and get a big release fee clause because that's what we need. If we lose him, we're not going to be as strong as we are. He is integral to our team, Berke Urza, so I'm thankful to say we managed to keep him. And that was probably the main headline for Oviedo, or players leaving Oviedo. A few players have left. You'll see it here, I suppose. A few players did leave, but not big names. He's like the biggest name linked with leaving. Jordan Williams, he said we were going to go. End of last episode, actually, he was going to go. We said that. He's gone to Athletic Pamplona, Osasuna for £755,000. Katungo has gone to Birmingham for nearly £400,000. Hackman, Pastrana, a few guys out on loan. Things like that basically, but nothing too major. The only players that you can really be concerned with who left at the end of their contracts, Jeremy and Diarra, they've both left at the end of their contracts. They just weren't really cutting the mustard, weren't particularly doing much sitting in the team, and we haven't really replaced Jeremy, which is a bit of an issue, which you'll find out. Right, back onto the transfers then. They're all the outs, no one really major. We've made 2.3 million out of loans and selling players, which is decent money. We spent 13.5 million, which is a lot of money. I do know that's a lot of money, but I think we've made some decent transfers. Luka Adzic from Red Star, 1.8 million. He's a top transfer there, the first one, and he is definitely the marquee signing we've made this summer. So Luka Adzic comes in as a left-sided winger, which is not really the position we probably need to strengthen. But we brought him in anyway because he was available on a cheap deal. He's got decent current ability, 4.5 star, 5-star potential. Got some really, really good stats, especially like these technical stats. They really, really impressed me. And his mental stats as well, they're all pretty decent, I've got to say. He's a fantastic player. Hopefully he can do quite a bit for us. He came in from Red Star, where he's not really played all that much, but last season played really, really well. 7.56 average rating. And when you get a player doing that for an AI club, you kind of think, well, they've got to be decent. So we thought we'd bring him in. He should do some business on the left-hand side of the attacking midfield this season. Fingers crossed, he's going to be a star. These next three ones, we don't need to concern ourselves with too much. These are just like players coming into the B team with youth prospects, so like 1.5 star current ability. Diego Alande's gone out on loan. He's 2.5 star, but actually his potential isn't as good as he thought it was going to be. So he's out on loan to Cadiz. And this guy, Ricardo, again, another sort of backup player in the B team, could be good in the future. So don't worry about those three. They're not to worry about. The next signing we made for the first team is Roland Salai. He comes in from Apoel. Team, are they the Cypriot side? Yeah, they are the Cypriot side. I thought they were Greek, but obviously very close to Greece. But the Cypriot side, £1.5 million, which I think is a very, very good deal. 23 years old, Hungary, 4-star current ability. All his stats apparently going down right now, which you have to try and mitigate at some point. None of his attributes are like massively outstanding, but it is the stats that I do like here. 18 goals there, 11 goals there, 15 assists, 8 assists. He's got some fantastic average ratings over the past 3 seasons. I know it's in Cyprus, and I know the Cypriot League, especially for a player like him, is probably ridiculously easy. But you can't turn down a player who's scoring 18 goals from the midfield, who's getting 11 goals from the midfield, 15 assists from the midfield. Like, you can't turn that down. His lowest rating is 7.49. So he came in for decent money. I think he's going to be a star man when we fit him into the system, because we don't usually play attacking midfielders, which is what he is. Next up, bargain of the summer, Nemanja Maksimovic. If you remember back to the Red Star save we did a long time ago now, we brought him in. We called him Max there, because for some reason I couldn't say Maksimovic. I mean, it's quite easy, but at the time I just couldn't say it, so we called him Max instead. But Nemanja Maksimovic, there we go, I said it wrong. Nemanja Maksimovic comes in from Valencia, £850,000, which is a real steal for a player of his quality. 3.5 star current ability, 3.5 star potential. A little bit old actually for us, a little bit old, 25 years old. That's the oldest player that I have bought, I think, which is a little bit worrying. But he's got really good stats across the board, plays in positions that we like to have in the squad, like the box-to-box midfielder type thing. Not as good as Febas, but better than other players we've got in central midfield, and is a little bit more versatile as well. So I'm looking forward to seeing how he plays. Not really played too much at Valencia since moving there from Astana, but I think with a decent run of games this season for us, he could actually do pretty well. So I'm looking forward to seeing how he performs on the pitch, alongside his Serbian compatriot, actually, Luka Adzic. Next up, Duj Kaletakar from West Ham United. 4.8 million we spent on him, which is a little bit too pricey, really, but we had to get a centre-back in, and this guy comes in, 23 years old, got 1 cap for Croatia, which is pretty good, 3.5 star current ability, 4 star potential, very good stats where they matter, I've got to say, very good stats where they matter, tall as well, he's a big chap, like, he's going to be solid at the back for us, so I'm looking forward to seeing how he performs. It's just the price we paid for him, it seemed like a bit of a premium. Comes in, though, as the best centre-back, which is always very good. You want your players and the players you bring in to improve the squad, and that's what he's going to do. Just the money annoys me a little bit, because it was a lot of money, 4.8 million. Didn't play a single game last season for West Ham. Played like uncompetitive games, 36 probably like the reserves, but really he's lacking first team experience. He's not really had any club apart from 1 season with Red Bull Salzburg in Austria. He's played pretty well in pre-season though, from what I've seen from the reports and things like that, so I think he should be okay, but we needed to improve our defence a little bit, and actually he seems to be like the best guy we could bring in for the price and for the money we had, and things like that. He seems to be the best of what we could get. Benjamin Rolhajsuk is the next player to come in, 3.5 million from River in Argentina, 3 star current ability, 5 star potential. Actually, it says here striker, but he's not. He's a right winger, inside forward. So we've got 2 new inside forwards, which is, I didn't need them really. I didn't need the wingers. I needed wing backs. Did I bring any wing backs in? No. Turns out wingbacks are very hard to find. Good ones, or ones that just meet our needs. There was 1 or 2, but they went elsewhere and things like that. It's a little bit annoying, so we didn't really get any wingbacks in. So I strengthened the wingers instead, which you could argue is probably a little bit stupid. Again, though, he's got some decent stats. He's got good potential as well. As long as he avoids injury, I think he is a bit injury prone. It may say on here somewhere. It definitely said injury prone at some point. Didn't quite say it there anymore. Comes in as the 3rd best attacking midfield on the right, apparently, behind Adzic and Salai. But he's going to be the starting guy on that right-hand side of the pitch. Unless Cantel, what your name is, really steps up this season. He was decent last year, but a little bit inconsistent. He's had 2 good years on loan in Portugal with Portimonense. Pretty decent return there, 10 goals, 3 assists. It's very decent, actually, I've got to say, from the wing, especially at such a young age and not quite being at his prime and things like that. But River were happy to let him go for 3.5 million. Obviously, Portimonense didn't want to get him again. So he's here now in Oviedo, in Spain. He's got to learn Spanish. Hopefully, he learns it quickly to communicate with his new teammates. And finally, Kellen Acosta comes in from West Ham on loan, £91,000 per month. It's quite a bit, but we needed him. We're looking for left backs, basically, because we got rid of Katungo and only really had the one guy, Varela, who could play left back. So we brought this guy in on the grounds that he can play left back, but can also play right back, can also play CDM, can also play centre mid. So actually, really versatile. Probably going to be like on the bench more than anything, I've got to say, this season, but he's going to be that sort of man that's just going to be an impact player wherever he comes on the pitch. I think we missed that a little bit last season. Didn't really have anyone that could come off the bench to be a real impact player, unless we play like a 1-striker system. But this guy, I think, is going to be pretty useful for us this season, especially if injuries start to come through and things like that. So Kellen Costa comes in, and he should be good. And there you go. That's all the transfers. You'll notice no left backs or right backs came in, which is going to be a little bit of a worry. We've got Johannesson and Cameron on the right hand side. Costa can play on the left and the right, as well as Varela. So we've got 2 in each side, which is alright, I suppose. We could do with a little bit better. We've got decent centre-backs. We've got some good midfielders. We've got wingers, an attacking midfielder. Strikers is an issue. There's only 2 of them now. Honestly, I tried to bring strikers in that would really boost this team. It's just not happened, really. It's just not happened. Either clubs didn't want to sell, or we couldn't quite get the right price, or they wanted too much money per week in contracts, things like that. Didn't quite work out. So whilst the window is still open, I think for like another week or so, I will be looking for another striker. However, it's quite slim that we'll get someone else in. Rollheiser can play up front, actually. He has got an ability to play as I think it's like Trequartista up front, things like that. So he could be used in emergencies. But I do want to try and get another out-and-out striker in the squad. This then is the lineup for the first game of the season. Not massively changed from last year. Burke stays in goal. Varela, Pinto and David Cameron start at the back. Kaleta Carr comes in as that new centre-back, of course, that we've got. Dorsch retains his CDM position with Fibas and Maximovic starting as the central midfielders. Adzic on the left, Rollheiser on the right, and Lozano is starting up front ahead of Raul Thomas Davis makes his way on the bench. I think this is a decent lineup. Zaragoza were promoted last season? I can't remember now. It's been a long time since I even played this, let alone recorded, so I can't quite remember. This, though, should be a decent side, so let's get the game going. Right, and kick-off is upon us here today, the first game of the new season here at Oviedo. Now, last season went very well for us. 8th in the table in our first season in La Liga, which was fantastic. And I did worry that the board were going to be like, we want that again. Luckily for me, their minimum expectation was to avoid relegation. So I've just said, yeah, we'll avoid relegation. I'm not going to get sacked this year because this team isn't bad enough to get relegated. I don't think it's strong enough to be up there. I think we had a real lucky season last year. I think it was really lucky how we managed to come 8th. So I think we probably should do mid-table. The players think that, of course. Last episode we said let's get mid-table as Lozano's first shot of the new season is straight at the goalkeeper. So yeah, I think for me personally, I'd like a sort of mid-table sort of finish. The board just don't want us to get relegated, which is nice. The players sort of want mid-table. That's what we said at the team meeting last season at the start of this season. So I think we should be okay for it. David Cameron, though, on the ball. He wants to aim for the top, I'm sure, as Fibas has a shot as well. We're coming close in this game against Zaragoza. We're taking it to them in these opening 20 minutes, but unfortunately, not much has come from it right now. So it actually has been ages since I last made a video. It is coming up to nearly a month since I last recorded, because I've just been busy and I was on holiday. There was a massive gap as there were no videos, and the reason was I was on holiday, which I didn't really say to anyone. So everyone was like, are you alive, Tom? I'm like, oh, yeah, I'm alive, don't worry, I'm just away. I recorded videos before I went. I literally spent the whole weekend before I went recording 13, 14 videos for when I was away. And then I got on holiday, had to edit them on holiday, and I was like, I can't bother to do this right now, so I just didn't. And that's why there was a massive gap between videos, and then why I had loads of videos stockpiled, and I could record, edit them, which is why I've not made a video in God knows how long. It's nice to be back in front of the camera, though. Nice to be back recording stuff. I'm liking this. Half time, though, is 0-0, which is what I'm not liking. So keep going out there, boys. You can still win this. We've been the much better side. 10 shots to 2 shots so far. 50-50 possession, but our attacking play has been much better than theirs. So I'm backing her to score a goal if we get more on target. We've only had the 1 so far. I'm tempted to actually make an early sub. We'll watch this highlight. But I might bring on the new attacking midfielder, Sly, onto the pitch. I feel like he could change the game, I think. He's obviously got a good record in Cyprus. I think he can come off the bench, make an impact. Although Rollheiser now on the ball, puts it out to David Cameron. David Cameron into the middle, Adzic on the ball, puts it in the back of the net. His first goal for the club, assisted by David Cameron. We move to 8th in the table on the first day of the season, apparently. We move to 5th, actually. Good stuff there. I like that, but I want more goals. More goals is what we need. They're really not an attacking threat, Zaragoza, so Dorsch is going to move up there. Salai is going to come on as that attacking midfielder. Advanced play. Let's do him as an advanced playmaker. Fibas can move to, well, what can he be? I don't really want 2 playmakers in the squad. So actually, we may bring on Ruiz instead of Fibas, and he can be more of a ball-winning midfielder, I believe. Yeah, make him a ball winner. Maximovic has that box-to-box, which is pretty decent. Leave these guys to do the attacking stuff. These guys can just be sort of help the defence out when needed. I like that. Let's stick with that then. Come on. Well, actually, the subs have come on, but they've not really made much of an impact at all so far. I mean, we're still dominating the game. We're still winning it. We're still getting the 3 points as things stand right now. But I would like to see a little bit more from these guys that just come off the bench. Prove to me why you deserve a starting place in this squad, basically. I think we've done a pretty professional job, though. I am concerned about the lack of shots on target. 18 shots total. Very good. Only 3 on target. So we may have to do some shooting practice with these guys as Zaragoza come forward in the final few moments of the game. Will they grab a last second winner? They don't. It's cleared. And there we go. Oviedo 1, Zaragoza 0. We start off the new season with a win, with a clean sheet. Good win there, boys, today. Well done. We need to work on our shooting, but other than that, decent result. And there we go. Fantastic stuff. Adzic makes his debut, scores a goal. Salai, Rolheiser, Kaletakar and Maximovic also made their debut, so well done, boys. And this is what I mean. This is what I mean. Liverpool boss Jurgen Klopp seen at the stadium looking at Berke Özil. Like, he is in demand. In demand. Just wanted by Liverpool now, apparently. That's a new team. It was like Chelsea and Arsenal and Lyon before, I think. If we offer him a new contract, he's unhappy at the club. Doesn't want to enter into one. So as soon as this window closes, which for us is the 1st of September, I think it might have closed for Premier League sides already, maybe. I think it might have done, but I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure it had, because there were deals on the table from, or offers on the table from Arsenal and Chelsea. Now I ignored them, and then one day they went away because their window closed. So I remember that now. So Klopp's obviously looking for January, which is also a worry, because I desperately want Berke to sign a new contract before then. So we'll monitor that situation. Next episode then. I mean, next game, we've got Real Madrid coming up soon, but that might be a bit too soon to do another episode. We can do Real Madrid much further down the timeline as well. I reckon next episode then we do Deportivo La Coruña and Getafe. Just because it's like 5 games in between, pretty standard stuff. So I think those two will be the next episode. So thank you very much for watching today's episode. I hope you have enjoyed it. Thank you very much for the new camera to the Patreons as well. Remember, if you want to join the Patreon, there are links in the description, probably on the screen as well now as well. So thank you very much for watching today's episode. Make sure you do drop a like on the video, subscribe to the channel if you're new around here, and I will see you next time for some more Real Deal